Hey there everyone, Redneck Brian here. I have decided I'm going to start pulling this transmission. If you watched the previous videos, you know I got a clutch. Starpuss made a comment yesterday, am I running the stock clutch on this? This tractor does not have a stock clutch, being a hydrostatic drive. I did say that to him in the comments, but he does watch most of my videos, so I'm going to say it again. But that's the main reason why I'm getting an engine clutch. But I have all the setup to run a foot clutch if I want to. I could probably make it adapt and fit on this tractor and basically run a separate clutch, separate brake, which would be nice. Because I would like to reuse the stock brake and the stock brake lock. I want to see what it looks like once I get the rear fender off and the pan and basically, like car terms, running boards, so on and so forth. Get all that taken off. It's only 4 or 6 bolts. There's 2 up front on either side. There are 2 right here, this one right here, this one right here. There's a wiring connection right here that has to be disconnected. Probably gotta possibly pull the fuel cap off just so the pan will clear the gas tank. Possibly remove the gas tank, but it has half a tank of gas, almost half a tank of gas in it, so that may or may not be an option. When we get that off, see what it looks like, then we'll put it up on jack stands. Up here, all this slips through. I gotta figure out how this mat will come off. I may have to unbolt the pedal, this pedal here, and possibly actually the brake pedal as well, just so it will clear it. I don't want to cut nothing. I don't want to cut the mat either. It's in pretty good shape still, so that's where I'm at. And quick shout out to Emily Loves Her Dogs and Emily Hills World. Here she is. She's in most of my videos and don't know where the dog is. The dog was here, but I guess she doesn't want to be on video now.
Hiya.
So I guess stay tuned. Okay, update time. It took me a little bit longer than I thought. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be to take the big pan off. It was actually a pain in the ass. I had these 2 front mounts. They slide right off, so I took them right off. I pulled them back onto the pan, and then I also had 2 bolts, a bolt here and a bolt here, which corresponded to right here and here. This is where the gas tank was mounted. Also right here. Gas tank had to be dropped out first. It's a really well built tractor. I'm hoping still that I can put the other rear end in here. That is my plan, like you guys know, as to pull at this hydro and put the better rear end in, or the better rear end for racing in here at least. The hydros are good, but they're not fast enough for racing, and they're not the easiest things in the world to modify. So my next step is I'm gonna get all this crap here taken off, the mower up and down stuff. Excuse me. All the mower stuff taken off, and that should all come off in one piece. It's just kind of looking like to me. So get all that off, and actually get down to the rear end. Here is my frame. My frame's nice and solid. That's the main reason why I'm going with this tractor, having the solid frame. The Craftsman's also have a solid frame. Basically any tractor I find that you can actually remove that part right there. So this one here would also be considered a solid frame. The Noma, I consider that a unibody. It's basically built off of one pan, and heck, that thing had a lot of flex in it. I found it had a lot of flex. So this thing has no flex at all. But so there's where I'm at right now. The motor still runs. I'll show you. That's that stupid solenoid still. I don't know if I choke it a bit. Since there's no seat safety, it just kills itself automatically. So I might start back up. Battery's starting to get a bit low. That's just a battery from a jumper pack, so it's all in here right now. So I'm actually going to get the hood back on this later on today as well, so I want to protect this motor. And my goal is still to get the rear, hopefully, as long as everything lines up, get the new rear end in this. That is my goal for the end of the day. It should only take a couple more hours to finish this up. It's a learning process. They're not easy tractors to work on. If I've worked on a Kubota in the past, I imagine this would be a lot easier, but I haven't. This is the very first Kubota I've ever worked on, so it's a learning curve, that's for sure. So I guess stay tuned. Next video I'll probably have the rear end out, and we'll be lining up the mock-up rear end just to make sure everything's going to fit. And that's going to tell me if everything's going to fit or not, and hopefully it will. Then I will bolt in the good rear end. And bless you to Emily Loves Her Dogs. And there is Miss Shania, the bad little puppy dog. She is 5 months old now. So stay tuned. Okay, update time. As you can see, 6 speeds in. I had to do a little tiny bit of modifications right here, just below the original mower adjuster. I just cut it and bent it back. I'll cut it out of there eventually. But it's in. It's well bolted in to the back 4. I haven't done the front support yet. I got to modify something to fit there. I got a pulley on there, and I just pulled off the front pulley, which is right there. And I'm about to put the clutch on. So the clutch is sitting right there. So I'm gonna put it on, and I'm gonna see what will happen. See if I got a long enough belt. I'm hoping I do. And see what happens. See if I can make this work, and if it's going to work the way I'm hoping it will. So stay tuned. Okay, as you can see, it's sitting in a different spot now. I have not drove it yet, but I'm actually about to drive it. It has no brakes. Yeah, it has no brakes as of yet. I got the fuel tank just sitting right there. I'm going to sit right there, or I might put something across there. I haven't decided yet. But anyways, I'm going to leave the fuel tank right there. And if anything goes wrong, I'll shut off the key. It's currently in neutral, but I gotta lower the idle on the engine, because as soon as the engine fires up, the clutch is engaging, so the engine's idling too high. So I'm gonna try to get it down to that it will just idle like a blub 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 idle, and hopefully the clutch will not engage. And clutch engages at 1800 RPMs. The lowest, like, this engine's supposed to run at 1800 I believe it was. So I'm going to try to get the idle down on this motor and see what happens from there. Like I said, no brakes. I am crazy a bit when it comes to driving stuff like this. I'm just charging up the battery quickly. The battery's a little on the low side. So wish me luck, and if it works out, I'm going to finish removing the rest of this mower stuff. The belt's good now. I was able to just adjust the stock tensioner in underneath inside, so the belt's good. I gotta figure out how I'm going to do the brakes. I already have an idea how I'm going to end up doing them, but other than that, I'm just about ready to take it for a test run. So stay tuned. Okay, I just recently got back from my test drive, and it worked. Only problem I had is my brake release here, like that, and since I have no seat, it shut my motor off. So I should have tied that back or tied the pedal forward somehow, but that was the only issue I had, and that was around the other side of my street. But other than that, actually, it didn't do too bad. I definitely gotta change out that rear pulley. You can see that's what I got. I just didn't have a belt offhand that would work. This is the pulley I'd like to use right here. I believe it's a 2.5 inch, and it is smaller than my clutch, so that's the one I want to use. I just didn't have a belt, so I used what I had on hand, and it worked. So, but what I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna stick the rear fender back on, I think, or actually I'm gonna get all this mower stuff cut out first. It's gonna be fun to cut it out, that's for sure. The welds are very thick on this thing. They're built not to come apart, basically, these tractors. They're solid. So I'm gonna work on taking that off. The stock tensioner up front worked fine. I actually got good tension on the belt, just the right amount of tension on the belt. You can see it moves pretty good. I don't got no brakes. I gotta figure out how I want to hook up the brakes. That will be later on down the road, a few days or a couple weeks. Next week is pretty busy. I have the Grand Theft Auto V unveiling to go to, so a few other things I gotta do. But other than that, I'm done with this for now. I'm going to clean up the hood a bit. I gotta grind up that piece near the muffler, put the hood on, protect the motor, and probably just set this off to the side. And yes, I did drive it with the gas tank like that, and it actually didn't work out too bad. But I figured out I can actually put the rear fender on, and I can actually drop the gas tank out without taking the rear fender off. So I can actually get access to my pulley. I actually think I can get access to there without even removing the gas tank. There's this access plate right there. Basically just gotta take that off and it will give you access to the top of the transmission, and I can do what I need to do then. So that's pretty much it for this project for now. Like I said, it was fun, but I might be going out tomorrow to get a belt. So I'll get a couple belts for this. I'm hoping to get a belt for that, and hoping I'm going to go tomorrow. So and then my tomorrow's plan is to do some work on the 4x2. Or I might work on this, but I'd like to get the 4x2 done by winter, but I'd also like to have this done by winter so I can go snow drifting. If you know what I mean for snow drifting on a tractor, it's extremely fun. I do it every winter out on my streets. So that's I guess that's pretty much it. So I'll talk to you later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.